Protect Sophie Cunningham at all costs. The WNBA has to absolutely hate her at this point. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 real quick because it's been a long time and I've seen a lot of comments asking about it. The 19 is simply all of you who support the channel. Last season, as someone who trains athletes, I made a comment on a video about how Angel Reese does not move properly, that she doesn't have her agility is not very good because of her mechanics and how she moves, and that needs to be improved upon. No hate towards Angel Reese, no personal attacks, nothing. And of course, I got an Angel Reese stand come in and actually threaten me with physical violence. They were hoping they could see me in person so that they could punch me in the face. And then they came back later and said the only views I get on my channel are my 19 cousins. I guess they thought that would hurt my feelings because they're so fragile emotionally. So then I just thought, you know what? All right, we'll turn it into a positive, and I'll use that. And that's you. That's all of you. That's the supporters of the channel. That's my audience who tune in and keep this thing going. You are the 19. So anyway, now that we've gotten that out of the way, and don't yell at me for doing it because I did. It's been a long, long time. We have Sophie Cunningham once again talking about the officiating in the WNBA, the lack of officiating in the WNBA. I think in the post game of Dallas, I broke down in video some of the calls that Paige Bueckers was getting to the point where I now say Paige Bueckers does not get the Asia Wilson whistle. Asia Wilson gets the Paige Bueckers whistle. It is absolutely absurd the calls Paige Bueckers gets. And then when you factor in the calls that Caitlin Clark does not get, and you've all seen the videos I've done on that, and you can go find them or I'll link to them at some point. Maybe I'll put them in a community post. It is absolutely insane. So let's take a minute to listen to Sophie Cunningham talk about the Paige Bueckers whistle.
I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, like, again, I think she's a hell of a player and, like, would love to play with her one day. But
Yeah.
those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. Like, you literally couldn't touch her. Couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me. Like, and if you're going to do that, then give it to our guards. Like, I just hate the
Yeah.
inconsistency. Or we know she's a good rookie and, like, she's going to get some whistles. But, like, to get the treatment she got last night was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Calls.
Well, she's gonna be one of those players that, like, she's already gonna be a GOAT. Like, she's gonna be a
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. Everyone knows that she's freaking hell of a player, but, like, getting some of those whistles already, oh my, I couldn't. I
I don't know about the Hall of Famer thing for a couple of reasons. It's not really, won't get into all of that, but one being the fact that she's also already had two ACL injuries. But there you heard, first of all, it doesn't matter that she's a good rookie. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you can think of one. I can't think off the top of my head in the NBA a good rookie that would get a superstar whistle as a rookie. That may change over time. Now, I'm not one who thinks that a star should get special treatment in terms of whistles because I think if you officiate the game according to the rules and you officiate the game properly, the stars are going to shine. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, fans come to watch the players and that therefore you don't be given you don't get players into foul trouble early and all that." And I get that, but I go back to the problem is a lot of times when that happens it's because of a special whistle or a special anti-whistle, right? Caitlin Aaliyah Boston, for example, she's one that will pick up, she'll pick up two quick fouls, say in the first quarter, and then that has a huge impact on the rest of the game because she's got to sit for a while. And you look at a lot of the fouls, and they're bad, bad, bad Leroy Brown calls, right? And that's the issue. They're things that should not be called against anyone. It's not that, oh well, you can't call that against the Leah Boston early because not only the impact of the game, but the fans come to see the better players. It's no, that call shouldn't be called against anyone. And that is the problem, and what Sophia Cunningham I think is talking about as well. And that is the problem with Caitlin Clark. Look, man, and they always want to spin it in that direction. I am not saying Caitlin Clark should get a special whistle compared to other players. I'm saying Caitlin Clark should be according to the rules, like everyone else. Because if you do that, Caitlin Clark is a 30, 15, 8 player, if not more, if she decides she wants to score more. She could be a 35 per game player, a 40 per game player, 10, 12, 15 assists, depending on if Caitlin Clark is allowed to play like Caitlin Clark. I'm convinced Stephanie White will never allow that. I'm convinced Stephanie White has to go at this point. If not, Caitlin Clark has to go. Those two cannot survive together. Stephanie White does not want Caitlin Clark to shine, but that's a topic for another day. I'm sure that will something will come up about that. But if you just give Caitlin Clark the whistle according to the rules, she absolutely dominates this league because you watch her. She's picked up at 94 feet. She's clutched. She's grabbed. She's pinched. She's poked in the eyes. You've got the hands on the hips that impede her. There is no freedom of movement allowed for Caitlin Clark at all. We, of course, have players time and time and time again ending up in her landing space, and she is not getting those calls. Whereas Paige Bueckers gets those calls even when players don't end up in her landing space. You saw the one with Sophie Cunningham where Paige Bueckers with two hands shoves Sophie Cunningham in the chest, pushes her away from him, and the call is made on Sophie Cunningham. I promise you, if Caitlin Clark got the Paige Bueckers whistle, she would be running away. Now, obviously, she's not playing, but if she were, well, that's the thing. She would be playing if she got the Paige Bueckers whistle because she wouldn't have these injuries, and she would be running away with the MVP. There would be no one else in the conversation, but it is clear that the league does not want that to happen. The league wants all the benefits that they are getting from the Caitlin Clark fan base without actually having Caitlin Clark play and without actually having the fan base. They want to drive you away as well, and yet somehow get everything in the CBA that they deserve, that they say they are owed. Now, when they say they're owed, I'm guessing that means that they're going to pay the NBA back, the $500 million or whatever it is that they owe the men of the NBA who made them. And look, I don't say that to be, you know, anti female basketball player or any of that. I'm just kind of well, I want to stick that, it's a little bit of needle jabbing because of who these players are and what these players say, that I think they deserve to hear the fact that this league wouldn't exist without the men of the NBA. You got that, ladies? You aren't owed anything. You don't deserve anything because you've never put a product on the court that is good enough to attract eyeballs of sports fans. That is the reality. As much as you want to whine and moan and complain and yell oppression about it, it is the absolute truth. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about what Sophie Cunningham says. I'm sure she's going to get fined for this. Well, maybe she said it in a way that she won't, but I wouldn't be surprised if she got fined for this. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the officiating in the WNBA, Paige Bueckers officiating in the WNBA, and if you think that'll ever be fixed. Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you being here. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.